Hi everyone, welcome to Soulprint. Thank you very, very much for being here. This video is being released on Thursday. It's just many hours later than normal. I will be back. You'll get a video tomorrow, which is Pendulum Friday. I'm going to be recording that a little later on in the afternoon. Okay, so I want to just take a quick peek and see how the Republicans are doing. Trump is becoming more outrageous by the day. He still hasn't shut up about making Canada a state. Like that's going to happen. But he's got Jared Kushner's dad as an ambassador. That Kim, whatever her name is, the ex-girlfriend, I guess, of Junior. She's being made like it's nuts what's going on. And I'm wondering how Republicans are dealing with that. Interestingly, there was a female Republican, and can't remember her name, don't know what state she's from, but she made an announcement that she will not be basically siding with the Republicans. She's just not going to automatically vote for what they want. And this is a problem because apparently with that sort of defection, it's interesting because she's not saying she's going to go crossing the aisle to be a Democrat. I don't even think she's stated that she's an independent. She's just saying, I'm not going to do what everybody else does. I'm not going to fall in line. So what that does apparently is it leaves Mike Johnson with one vote to spare. So he's in a bit of a precarious situation himself, as is, frankly, the leadership of the House. All right, let's get going here. For those of you who might be curious as to what you're seeing, I'll just show you. This is my Christmas penguin. He comes out literally once a year for the last video of the year. Prior to the Christmas season. For those of you who may have missed it, I will be taking time off from now until January 6th. I will be returning that week. Unless something really insane and crazy happens in the meantime, in which case, I'll hop on. But I'm requiring some just downtime and some rest. Okay, so let's take a look and see what is going on with GOP. Spirit, could you just kind of give us some insight as to what is happening behind the scenes, what that looks like, what's happening? Okay, so most of you have probably heard this, but there was another secret vote done by, I don't even know what department, the House Ethics Committee or something, and they apparently have decided to release the report, the investigation onto Matt Gaetz. So this is quite the little turnaround, right? Because they weren't going to, then they were, then they weren't. Now apparently they are. But what's interesting to me is not that whether they are or aren't, is this notion of these secret votes. If you remember correctly, they did the same thing with the Senate leadership. It was a secret vote. And Thunes, I think that's his name, got in. And he is a much more down the middle kind of conservative Republican. He is not a Trumper. And so it's interesting to me that, behind the cloak of secrecy, you're seeing Republicans. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say that they found their spine, but at least are maybe not quite so terrified of pissing off, the greedy king. So it's going to be, Spirit, I want to know actually, are we going to see more of that? Are we going to see more kind of these secret votes being taken when people are looking to push back? And the answer flat out is yes. Because that's one of the few ways that they have sort of moving forward somehow and trying to retain or hold some of the powers like of Congress. So yeah, that's you can just expect more of those. Trump has already made the statement that um, anybody who doesn't fall in line and basically, do what he wants, he's already put out the message that then the next election, they need to be primaried. So he is already, setting that stage for do what I say or. But I think that when you have this, there's sort of like this low, when I go into that energy, there's like this slow kind of bubbling um, energy where even mega Trump Republicans are starting to become a little horrified at what his cabinet is going to look like. It's the kind of people that he's bringing in and pulling in. They have no experience. Some of them are not even sure particularly smart, but they're being given these really powerful and frankly really important positions. So you're going to see some pushback, and one of the ways they're going to be able to do that is sort of by this secret ballot. There is concern. So what they're showing me is, have you ever watched a pot boil, right? And you're looking at the pot, right? And one of the things that happens is there's all those little tiny bubbles that kind of accumulate at the bottom. And then before you know it, the pot is bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. That's where we are right now with some Republicans. There are those little bubbles at the bottom that are going, wait, 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 this has gone so far out of hand that, publicly they are falling in line, but I think behind the scenes they are not. I think behind the scenes there's actually a great deal of concern about this Trump presidency. You know, there is a recognition on some level that you can only push people so far. You can only threaten to take away things like their health care and their social security so often for people just are kind of done and they start pushing back. And it's one of the things that Republicans in particular are trying to grapple with, right? It's like they're saying, okay, well, on the one hand, Trump's going to be mad at us, and on the other hand, our voters are going to be mad at us. Where do we go here? Because one of the other things that's happening is more and more Republican voters are are getting concerned because they're just now, hearing things like, oh yeah, the president actually, he can't control the price of groceries. That has nothing to do with him. And so him screaming about how he was going to lower the price of groceries immediately is just wrong. He doesn't have the power or the capacity to do that. Oh, wait a minute. Does this mean that um, my medicine that I need is going to go back up in price because, um, you know, that's going to be ripped out? Oh, does this mean that benefits that I'm getting for a handicapped child are going to be impacted? Slowly, slowly, they're starting to recognize that, oh, wait a minute, you know what? If he puts 25% tariffs on stuff, we're probably going to end up paying that 25% at the cash register. So they're starting to recognize that what they thought they were getting and what they're actually going to get are not the same thing. Um, it's interesting, is it not, that JD Vance doesn't seem to be anywhere around. No one hears from him. Everything's all quiet. But um, that Musk person, he's front and center. And we all need to remember what happens when that greedy king um, feels like somebody is getting more attention or stealing the limelight from him. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. What's going on, Spirit, with them? um, he has started to actually realize, like recognize on a basic level, that this person who he is has supported and has thrown millions and millions of dollars at to win, um, is a moron. Like is truly incapable of logical thought. And so in some ways, he's kind of got his hands full, right? Because there's certain things he wants done. And one of them is he wants to be able to get all restrictions taken away so that he can continue to do his, satellite stuff and his space exploration stuff. And he wants like any restrictions removed. He wants to be given sort of carte blanche. But what he doesn't, or what he's now just figuring out, is that he's trying to deal with somebody who doesn't have a really good handle on anything. And so, while he can be sort of backed into a corner to do things, there is the recognition that he doesn't understand, he doesn't get it. And so some of the things or the decisions that are going to be made are actually more dangerous than people think, simply because he is ignorant of the facts and the details. So there is some tension that is being created between the two of them, because the more one person tries to maneuver the other person into doing what they want and thinking what they want them to think, is the recognition that it doesn't hold, it doesn't stick, and nor is there any basic understanding. And so that friction is starting to build up. And it's then, I can't say this is what's going to happen as a result of it, because you're dealing really with two volatile personalities, and it's very hard to get clarity on what one or the other might do. Do not forget, this is all about, free will. We get to make our choices and then we deal with the consequences. And so sometimes things aren't as just sort of clear cut. There is some energy around investigations that are happening, things that are going on behind the scenes with the other party. Okay, with Dems, there's things that are being looked at, things that they're trying to make sense of. There is also okay, so you have these sort of, on the one hand, you have outside influences from other parts of the world that have been, sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. But on the other hand, you have energy from outside influences out of the country that are working to try to get to the bottom of something and figure out how it can be sort of reverse engineered, if you will. And then you you have this energy from outside of our world that is also pouring energy into this, because the energy of the planet has become so out of balance. And listen, it's not just the United States. Marcon is having a really big problem in France. Trudeau's having a big problem here in Canada. Romania nullified their last election. There's like a lot going on that is creating this incredible instability worldwide. And that is creating a situation where the energy that is vibrating out from the planet can start to impact other worlds. And so we have that energy that has stepped in and is doing what they can do to try to mitigate some of the stuff that's going on. So bottom line right now is you've got Republicans who only seem to be able to do the right thing in secret. You have voters who are going, oh my God, what have we done? And you have a period of time between now and, I like around the third week of January, where things are going to get very stressful, very chaotic, and they're going to feel like really unstable. And I think part of the message that I'm being asked to pass along is that it would be very helpful if everyone could do what needs to be done to keep themselves from reacting to the instability in a way that frankly amplifies the instability. So a lot of what's going on right now is, people have reverted to Christmas movies and they're not watching the news. And boy, oh boy, the networks are having a bit of a problem with that because their ratings are just tanking. Some people are, sort of reading a lot. Some people have gotten into baking a lot. People are doing what they need to do to help them stay away from the stress and the aggravation of the day-to-day insanity that they're hearing about. And this is a really, really good thing because you want to do everything in your power to keep your energy at that higher vibration. And when you are stressed and you are anxious, that's not what happens, right? It swirls into a lower vibration, and that, of course, feeds more and more of the instability. So as we go from now, into January and through the first few weeks of January, be mindful of the fact that things are going to start to feel incredibly chaotic. And the result of that chaos is frankly still being written, okay? There are things that are going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of, we're not seeing, but there are still people who have free will and are going to make certain choices. You also do not be surprised if there aren't a few people who would be, well-known, positions of power, that kind of thing, who are saying their goodbyes and, not going to be around. So that's where you are. That's where we are right now. I am going to leave it there because the message I want you to take away from this is not that everything is crazy, yes it is, but that you all need to keep doing exactly what you need to do to keep yourself stabilized in a good place mentally and pushing away stress and aggravation and worry, because it's only going to amplify the problem. Okay. And honestly, come on, this is the perfect time of year to be distracted, right? I mean, you have got um, Christmas, Hanukkah, the solstice. There's stuff going on that is perfect for distraction. And so immerse yourself in that. Immerse yourself in family and friends and good feelings, and eat too much and be a little extravagant. Do whatever's going to work for you, because it's going to get bumpy and it's going to settle down somewhere down the road. And I would love to give you a date, and I wish I could. But there's a lot of mountains to climb between now and then. Okay. I am going to do my level best to release a kite parade video next week. I'm hoping that it will go out on Monday or Tuesday. Keep your eyes open for it. Before the part of a pet parade that is connected to Victoria, my daughter, has been done. It honestly is the pet parade here that hasn't been done. And so we're going to attempt to get that done, put them together, and get it out for you. And hopefully prior to Christmas. Okay. I will be recording, as I said, Pendulum Friday a bit later on in the afternoon. It will come out like normal on Friday. And I wish every single one of you a brilliant and happy holiday season. I wish you a new year filled with blessings and abundance in whatever way that means for you. I want everybody to take a couple of deep breaths and take the time, because honestly, the last 6 months have been like really stressful, and it would be a really good thing for all of us to be able to sort of put down that energy and leave it, and then move forward in a more happy, positive, and focused way. I am grateful for every single one of you. I thank you so very much. I've been doing this actually for like 5 years or something. It makes my head spin when I actually think about how long I've been putting out these videos. So thank you, as always, for your amazing, amazing support. Thank you for the donations that are coming in, as maybe Christmas presents or thank yous. It's lovely, and again, it always humbles me. Okay, take care. I'll be back with my penguin shirt on tomorrow, and but until then, take care, be well, and go have some fun. Bye for now.